sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Good morning, everybody. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. And look where we are. Look what's behind us, baby. We're out in Romeo at Dispo Dispensary, the Cannabis Mall. If you guys are looking to get out here and restock anything, please make way through. We'll be here 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. All shows are here. Stop by, show some love. We got Sean out here, all the people at Dispo. It's going to be packed today. Food trucks, they got a DJ. If you're not doing anything, I don't know why you're not out here already. So we're excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. I got Sam Flannel joining me as always. Sam, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling great being at Dispo, as I always am at a wonderful place like this. I mean, they treat us all like kings here. If you go in, it's beautiful inside. So if you guys are even interested in cannabis or not even, come visit a place like this because it is that immaculate no matter what you are interested in. I think we would all agree with that.
Oh, no doubt about it. We got the whole crew here. JB's here. Lucas is here. No cameras for them, but we got Gabby. Gabby, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I started my morning off with a walk on the treadmill, watching the episode, getting ready for the day, getting my mind right. Absolutely thrilled to see all of the great things about Jack Campbell that we already believed on film.
And honestly, that Inside the Den episode yesterday, I know we're going to have to talk about it. Hour and a half episode. Which, thank you. It was like a mini movie I got to see last night, but it covered really Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, their process through the entire 2023 NFL draft. It kind of gave a background to really the philosophy behind drafting Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell. It went through every pick, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, and just to see the passion Brad Holmes has. Every draft, really, it started with Penei Sewell, but now we're here with Jahmyr and Jack in the first round. It was amazing. It really was, to say the least. I think the most interesting thing, and I took a couple notes here from the episode itself. One thing that Brad said early on in the episode, which I think is significant, and we've heard this, but to hear Brad say it is one thing. Sam, they had 14 players graded first round talent. He called it a first round bucket. He had 14 players in that bucket. And guess what? Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell were in that bucket.
They were in that bucket, and that's the thing that I kind of took away too, because a lot of us fans, a lot of us people, even at Woodward Sports, when the Jahmyr Gibbs picks and the Jack Campbell picks were made, a lot of us had some questions, I would say, and you saw Neil Rule's face in that basically that viral picture when Jack Campbell was picked, but especially when you looked at Jahmyr Gibbs, Brad Holmes was so excited that he gave Dan Campbell like an elbow, and they were just acting like they had won the lottery or something. So so they didn't care. They didn't care what we thought. They didn't care what pundits thought. They didn't care what fans thought. They got their guys, and it was just so evident how excited they were.
Yeah, well, he almost broke Rod Wood's hand.
Absolutely.
Drafting, Jahmyr Gibbs, I think it was, or Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like a high five. It was just a push. But Brad Holmes and the excitement he has, I think that's everything. And then the fact that Dan trusts him. Every time Brad would say, "Hey, Dan, I'm thinking about doing this," Dan's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And he tried to. My favorite part of it all, and Gabby, I want your thoughts on this. Every time that he would draft a player, he'd look at Sheila Hamp and say,
I was waiting for you to mention this.
So Jack Campbell is tall, he's rangy, he can defend multiple positions, he can fly around the field, and Sheila's just like,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Great.
It's just, I love the interaction between Sheila, Dan, and Brad. It's special.
You see the relationship, I think, honestly, even more than we saw in Hard Knocks. You see this relationship and how all three of them work together, and I think them pulling in Sheila into everything that they're doing shows so much respect for her and the organization as a whole and the franchise and what they're building. And they know it starts with her. She is running the show, and they're a part of that. Mm-hmm. And them pulling her in and making her aware of what they're doing shows so much respect. And also is that trickle down that you want to see. If they're showing her that respect, the team is also going to show her that respect.
I really love how involved. I mean, obviously, Sheila Hamp doesn't have any input on decisions, but the fact that she's so involved, I think that is special. I mean, Sheila cares. And for Brad, for him to take Jahmyr Gibbs, who honestly, and he kind of, this theory was posed, and this was tweeted out, Eric Shalit, who covers the Detroit Lions for Pride of Detroit, managing editor, he tweeted out, and this was a rumor during the time of the draft too, that they were going to take Witherspoon at 6 if he was there, and potentially trade up from 18 to 12 to take Jahmyr Gibbs.
Ooh.
Well, Sam Flannel, you traded back because, of course, Devin Witherspoon was off the board. You traded back to 12, got more assets, and still got the guy they wanted, a guy that they, almost took at 6. It was either him or you think it would have been Devon Witherspoon. Whoever it was, they traded back, still got their guy, and got more assets.
I mean, it all worked out so that they were able to trade back and get Jahmyr Gibbs, and they were compensated for it. They got more capital. They got more assets. And I like the fact that Brad Holmes was keenly aware of that. He seems to know the process. He seems to be one of those deal-maker type dudes. But I will say this. Thank goodness they were able to trade back, because even me, somebody who has really come around to the first-round draft picks, if they would have took Jahmyr Gibbs at 6, I think I'd still be having some questions right now, especially over Bijan Robinson, because I love Bijan. I think he's better. Yeah. But still, the way that it worked out about as well as it possibly could have, and you just saw all of the excitement. It was... I doubt that most draft war rooms were really looked like the Lions did. It was crazy. It was like they had just won the Super Bowl. But you know what? That's all right.
No, I think that's how it should be.
That's how it should be, because the players are like, man, they are really that happy that we came. I mean, you kind of got that from them when they were all on the phone with Brad Holmes, with Dan Campbell, and then even Sheila got a chance to talk to every single one of them. I think they could tell. Like, you could hear hooting and hollering in the background. I think that was pretty cool. It must have been quite the experience for those incoming rookies.
No doubt. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, too, to speak on him. I mean, Nick Saban reached out to Brad Holmes and told him, listen, this kid is A+ in every category. He said he never says no. We'll do anything you ask of him, and he does it at a high level. So the fact that, again, Brad's been consistent with this. We look at the character. We look at the person first. And then if you could play football and if you're pretty elite at it, you know what, that's great too. And Jahmyr and Jack Campbell, both in the first round. Looking back, I mean, initially it is surprising. You think, well, you drafted a running back at 12 who people didn't really have the thought in their head that he is as much of a weapon as he is. They look at him and try to put Jahmyr in a box and say, well, he's a running back, who, again, isn't the biggest guy. He's 5'9", probably, roughly 200 pounds. Is it DeAndre Swift? Could he be injured often? I'm telling you, Jahmyr Gibbs and how they plan to utilize him, Sam, he's going to be a stud, and I truly believe that. I think watching Inside the Den to kind of give a different perspective to prospects, because we as people who are outside the organization, you don't really know the thought process till you get to see things like Inside the Den, and you really see how much they love the person, Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell.
Well, that's the thing. It seemed like with every single one of those guys, they were all high character. And one thing that I noticed when they were going through the interviews with guys like even Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, the combine interviews, it seemed like they liked guys who were humble but yet believed in themselves and were confident in their abilities. Like I remember when they asked Sam Laporta about his hands, he wanted really bad to say 10, but I think he gave a great answer, saying he could get better at, I think, high pointing the football. I think he gave himself an 8. And but he also said, I'm a damn good football player at the end. I'm sure Lucas was just like, you probably had a hard time standing up at that moment if you catch my drift.
You ready to put him in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I didn't know he was mentored by Dallas Clark either. Another Hall of Famer. What do you know?
Oh, my gosh.
Get the gold jacket ready. Get the first
Dallas Clark is not a Hall of Famer.
He will be.
No, he won't.
Okay.
He'll fall in
And
there.
you know what? To speak on what Lucas is saying, Sam Laporta.
He's a dog.
He is a dog. And I love him. I love the human being because he just seems like when they asked him, why should you be drafted?
I'm a locker room guy. I can fit in any locker room. You plug me in, he's going to do whatever.
And then he forgot, wait, this is the NFL. I could play football also. He kind of left that. He's like, I'm a great guy.
Well, can we also take a moment for the fact that when they called him, his first reaction was that, oh my gosh, you got my guy Jack. You got my guy Jack. He forgot about himself in that moment, and I think that says so much about him as a person that it took a second to register, oh my God, they're calling me. I'm their pick.
So
cool.
He thought Brad was just calling to chop it up, about Jack Campbell. No,
Why
man.
would he do that, though?
You're a Detroit Lion. Welcome. And Sam Laporta, too, the confidence, and I know Lucas loved this, when they did bring up his hands, and he wanted, like you said, Sam, he wanted to say 10 so bad.
Yeah.
And he said, well, in 8, I can get better, of course. And
you would like to think so.
I'd like to think so, right? He said that.
Right.
And then he, of course, said, I could fit in any locker room, but I'm a pretty damn good football player, too.
Oh, yeah.
I truly believe that. And, again, when you look and see their perspective on what they were going to do at 34, there was talk of drafting Brian Branch at 34, Sam Flannel. And they didn't. but they still ended up getting Brian Branch, who I would say is a first-round talent, the best safety in this class.
Oh, 100% Brian Branch is a first-round talent. And it seems like to me that the Lions had 14 guys in their first-round bucket, and
Which
they got
is crazy.
four. And they got 4 of them, basically, in the first 2 rounds. And speaking of Brian Branch, one thing really stood out to me about him. I know we always talked about how he was a great football player at Alabama, a smart football player, and you obviously saw that during his combine interviews, but also as a human being. I know he stayed in the second round when he didn't have to. And to me, as a guy who's past the age of 30 now, you learn as you get older to appreciate moments like that. Yeah. The fact that he has that wisdom at such a young age that I'm never going to go through this again. Even though he was a little bit burned because he felt like he deserved to be a first-round pick, and rightfully so, he was like, I am never going to get to experience this again. And I think that that's just, it shows a lot about his character and that he appreciates moments like that, and he will appreciate a division win this year. That's for damn sure.
And you look back, I mean, Antoine Green, Brian Branch, what is something they say consistently, both of them? I want to help this team win a Super Bowl. Am I ready to have that conversation right now? Mentally, no. But you know what? I love it. I love the enthusiasm. I love where their head's at, because when you're a rookie in the NFL, you come out and your first thing is, I want to help this team win a Super Bowl. Not, I want to be a great player. I want to make an impact on this team. That comes with it, but winning and what they value comes number one. And for Antoine, and he seems like a great guy too, great high character guy, and somebody that, again, Brad, it felt like every pick, Brad was like, oh, this guy's still here? He was so shocked that these GMs are passing on guys like Brian Branch, Antoine Green. He got in the 7th round. He's like, this guy was way higher than a 7th-round pick.
So many from their first-round bucket that he was talking about.
Yes, and like Sam said, you're able to get multiple guys that you had first-round grades on. It's exciting. It really is. It makes me even more excited for the season. So please just get here, NFL. I'm ready. The preseason, let's just skip by that. Let's get to the NFL season because I'm fired up.
And also, speaking about the excitement, seeing how excited those scouts were for their guys that they had so much belief in for these last 3-4 years, watching him go from Georgia Tech and then go to Alabama, and knowing even when he was at Georgia Tech, like, that's our guy, like that's someone that you have to watch. I think like those are the individuals that so many organizations, I feel like, don't get the hype for. Like, they put in those hours. They're talking about being away from their families. They're talking about being on the road all the time and how much they put into this job, and they're behind the scenes. They're not Dan Campbell. They're not Brad Holmes. They're not getting all the love, but without those guys, these picks wouldn't have happened. And I think them showing them the love in this episode says a lot and speaks a lot to the organization and their values.
Yeah, and all you have to look at is Brad's track record, right, and how he values players. You look at character, you look at football, the love of the game, and look at the last 2 drafts and how that's worked out for Brad. I would like to say and like to think that this one will work out in a similar fashion. A lot of talent in this draft. I can't wait for it. But speaking of talent, a lot of talent over at Lady Jane's too, Sam Flannel.
Oh, absolutely at Lady Jane's. And we're not there today. We are actually at Dispo. But you know how much I love Lady Jane's and their haircuts? If I needed one really bad, I would drive all the way to Lady Jane's after the show because, as always, they got me looking as good as they do every single day. And you can walk into Lady Jane's 7 days a week, open 10 to 8. It's wicked awesome.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. At Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Think you can play some golf? How about beating a professional athlete? It's the Woodward Sports Thursday Night Golf League live at 5 Iron Golf, presented by Mark White and Associates, spanning 12 consecutive weeks, featuring famous courses from around the world. Played on state-of-the-art TrackMan simulators in 5 Iron Golf's new 25,000 square foot facility in downtown Detroit. Can you beat Darren McCarty on hole number 12 at Augusta National? I would like to try. What about outperforming Braylon Edwards on hole number 8 at Pebble Beach, I would also like to try. Do you have what it takes? If so, register for your chance to win a free foursome today. Just follow us on Twitter and Instagram before August 1st and direct message the word golf. It's 5 Iron Golf.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. We just got done talking a little bit about that new Inside the Den episode, which, again, guys, if you haven't already caught, go watch it, Detroit Lions YouTube channel. It's a hefty one. It's an hour and a half, and I sat through that entire thing, watched it minute for minute, second for second, and I really did enjoy it. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 50,000 subscribers, and if you are on YouTube as well, hit the like button. Support the stream. We'll try to get to 50 likes by the end of this segment. And if you're on the website, don't forget, go on the website. We got articles, updates, live scores, and merchandise. Merchandise like this hat I'm wearing currently right now. So go get your merchandise. And if you can't watch the show live, don't worry about it. You can catch the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Leave a 5-star review for Sam and his wonderful flannels. But I want to get into this Aaron Rodgers stuff because I've been holding this in, all right? This was recent news, and we were going to talk about it yesterday, but I thought, you know what, we'll save this one for Friday because we'll have some fun with it. Do you have the graphic, JB, by chance? It's comparing Aaron Rodgers' cap hit to Zach Wilson's, and if you don't, it's in our group chat in the thread. But I want to speak on this for a second because Aaron Rodgers took a significant pay cut, significant. And this is per Tom Pelissero. He writes the Jets signed 4-time NFL MVP Aaron Rodgers to a 2-year, $75 million guaranteed contract through the 2024 season. Rodgers had a roughly $110 million guaranteed remaining on his old deal in Green Bay. He's taking less for a shot at a ring, in parentheses, or 2, wow, in New York, okay? So Aaron Rodgers, for a guy who really throughout his entire career labeled selfish, doesn't, because he was always compared with Tom Brady. Tom would always take less to win. Aaron Rodgers never did. He got paid, had a Super Bowl, roughly about 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago. But regardless, that was always the knock on Aaron Rodgers. Does he want to win? Is he choosing the wealth, the riches over winning? And he gets to New York. He probably got roughly 2 years left, and Aaron still can play, right? I don't think he's some bum. He could still play. And even he knows it's going to be hard to win in this league paying that man $50 million. Yeah. And if you have the graphic, JB, comparing the cap hits, okay, well, I'll read them off to you. It's in our Slack if you want to grab it. But Aaron Rodgers' cap hit for 2023, guys, it's lower than Zach Wilson's. And I'll get into that in a second. Aaron Rodgers has an $8.8 million cap hit this upcoming season. Zach Wilson, $9.6 million. So just to speak on that a little bit, I'm going to be honest with you, Sam Flannel, and I ain't going to go as far to say I like him. But I respect the hell out of him, and I've been consistent with this. And this makes me honestly respect him even more because, again, for anybody, even at the age of 38, 39 years old, for Aaron Rodgers to do this, even, with all the BS he's kind of been in the middle of throughout his career, this one is the right move. It really is. And now Dalvin Cook reportedly interested in signing with the New York Jets.
It's all coming together. My plan for the Jets to win the AFC East and to lose at Arrowhead in the AFC Championship game. It is all coming together nicely. Jeff, I'm proud of you, man, because I figured that you would find a way to say that somehow it makes him even more selfish, because I know that's what a lot of you guys in the chat are going to do. I guarantee it. I can see you guys from a mile away. I mean, the reality is maybe the reports of him being selfish and a diva were way overblown throughout his entire career, and I think that is probably the case. But yes, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you probably look at this team as one of the best rosters you've ever played on, at least when it comes to high-end talent.
Yeah, no doubt.
And speaking of that high-end talent, guess who else they were able to lock down to a long-term deal recently? None other than Quinnen Williams at 4 years, $96. So it's all coming together very, very nicely. And like I said, he's a guy that his legacy, I think it's already cemented as a top 10 quarterback, no doubt. But if somehow, some way, and I'm not calling for this, if he can find a way to get another Super Bowl and another Super Bowl MVP in New York of all places, he is no doubt top 5 of all time. And I think he is cognizant of that. I think he sees the fact that on offense, he's got a Garrett Wilson, who's one of the best wide receivers he's ever played with.
Right.
Probably second to Devontae Adams in terms of talent for that matter. You've got a Breece Hall in the backfield. You've got the best young corner in the game in Sauce Gardner. You've got a defense that last season was 4th in the NFL in scoring defense, but he's also coming into an offense with terrible quarterback play that was 4th worst in scoring offense last year, and he's probably thinking, and I believe rightfully so, I can fix this. I can at least make this a passable offense to a very, very good offense because I'm still Aaron freaking Rodgers. I've still won 2 of the last 3 MVPs, and now his cap hit is even lower than Zach Wilson's. So what do you know? Aaron Rodgers, certified good guy.
And if I got to call out Aaron Rodgers on his BS, I would love to do that. But I simply can't. I mean, this again, if you look at his relationships with teammates as well, he's only gotten close with a handful of guys throughout his tenure in Green Bay. I mean, you bring up Randall Cobb, even some of his closest receivers, Devontae Adams, more than that, David Bakhtiari. I mean, he's gotten close with teammates, but it seemed like over the last couple of years, Aaron kind of became more and more distant. And I don't know if that was because he was unhappy with the Green Bay Packers, which most likely was true and was the case. But it seems like in New York, Sam, all I've seen Aaron Rodgers do, and I can't believe that this is coming out of my mouth, but he's embraced like all his teammates. Him and Sauce Gardner are very close. I mean, he let Sauce put a chain on his neck. I mean, like Aaron Rodgers and the personality he shows. I mean, him and Sauce have that handshake where they, speaking of Dispo, they do the smoking, signal with his hands. Listen, what he's doing with his teammates, I respect. I mean, this is a different Aaron Rodgers. Now, if you're going to ask me, Jeff, does this equate to a Super Bowl? Hell no. But I will tell you this: it makes you respect him.
Yeah,
because it's not, you can respect a guy but still root against him. I mean, that's fair. I respect the hell out of Aaron Rodgers, but if I'm trying to give my predictions as to what the Jets are going to do, I think they're at the most an AFC Championship appearance, like to your point, Sam Flannel. But you know what? Even if they get Dalvin Cook, I don't give a damn. I've seen Aaron Rodgers fall short too many times in the postseason, but I respect the hell out of him. I do.
Okay,
this
fair
is
enough.
A different Aaron Rodgers, Sam Flannel.
You know what? And that is 100% fair. And as I said before, I am glad because I pride ourselves on the Morning Woodward show that with new information, you are allowed to change your opinion. And yes. I don't think you've changed your opinion completely on Aaron Rodgers, but you can't. There's nothing that you can say about this that's hateable. There's nothing that you could spin into like a twisted web of lies to make this actually makes him more selfish. I thought that might be coming, but so I'm very, very proud of you. And yeah, I don't even think that they're going to win the Super Bowl. If I had to guess, I don't think they win any with Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback, the New York Jets, because I think the Kansas City Chiefs win both of the next 2 to the shock of absolutely no one. But I think with taking a significant amount less money, he's given his team the best chance possible. And I think now he's more concerned about like how this looks for him, how his legacy will be impacted. Because like I said, I don't think he has anything left to prove. But second, what's up?
I have the news.
What's the breaking news?
You're about to freak out in a good way.
All right, talk to me.
All right, so this is from the official Detroit Lions account. # Lions have signed wide receiver Trey Quinn and have waived wide receiver Tom Kennedy. Tom Kennedy, TK85, is gone, and they replaced him with another white boy in Trey Quinn.
So Trey Quinn is basically Tom Kennedy with a flow. That's what I'm saying. Okay, he basically is Tom Kennedy, just has longer hair.
He's solid. I mean, he's literally the same thing Tom Kennedy is, but the folk hero, it looks like he's waived.
Tom Kennedy.
Injured, so that's the reason he got injured.
See, Tom Kennedy didn't have a lot of room to breathe as it is. I mean, the man, injures his thumb, he's cut. But for some reason, he always finds his way back to the practice squad. So maybe Tom Kennedy comes back. But I'm telling you one thing. When you need Tom Kennedy, he's not going to be there. You're going to have to go to Trey Quinn, Sam Flannel. What are your thoughts? I know you're ecstatic for this move.
I mean, should I take my coffee in a latte form? Should I get one of those iced coffees that Jeff had last time he was here? Should I get it straight black like I usually do in the morning? And yes, I'm talking to you, Neil Rule. I'm talking to you, Darren McCarty. I'm talking to you, Spencer Raxter, because it is over. Tom Kennedy will never catch a pass in the NFL as long as he lives. As long as his natural-born life, his days in the NFL are done. He was never good. He was that slow kind of like folk hero white guy that everybody just loved because, oh my God, he's a folk hero. He's wide receiver Zach Zenner. That's what he is, but actually worse.
You know what would be the best, the best villain origin story right here? Tom Kennedy signs with the Chiefs. Week 1, tears that ass up. It tears that secondary up. How mad are you, Sam Flannel? Your response.
I mean, here's the thing.
He comes out 6 catches for 80 yards.
He is not worthy to touch a football that Patrick Mahomes has thrown. He is not worthy.
Oh, get out of
I mean,
here.
those are his facts.
If he was catching clutch third down, if he had a clutch third down catches with Jared Goff, you don't think he could do it with Patrick Mahomes?
I mean, he
That's
might.
the guy.
He might, but he's not going to get a chance because he can't play. I gave him credit for that big catch at Chicago. I did. I gave it begrudgingly because it helped the Detroit Lions win. But this is just great news. We all knew the writing was on the wall when they drafted even Antoine Green, when they signed Marvin Jones, when they signed Denzel Mims of all people. The writing was on the wall. Tom Kennedy is done. I'm not going to miss you. I'm not going to miss all the psychotic fans who are just like, Kennedy. You guys can all go cry in a corner. It's okay.
People are chiming in here now. Jamcat says he'll never clear waivers. I'm scooping TK and making him wide receiver 1.
Of course.
That's a smart man. Cornelia says Tom Kennedy validates Sam and he hates him. That's hilarious. Hoof-hearted, quote, Tom Kennedy will never catch another pass in the NFL for as long as he lives. Sam Flannel, 7/28/2023.
That's right.
All right, book that. Jamcat says Sam Flannel preying on his downfall. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not preying on his downfall. I'm just he just can't play.
Well, yeah. You know what? When they needed Tom Kennedy, he could play, but he's just not good enough to make the roster right now, Sam Flannel. So you know what? I hope he does make a roster, and I hope he does make some noise. All right, and who knows how much noise that is? But Tom Kennedy, good luck to you, my man. Good luck to you. Now, I got to tell you about our friends over at SMA because Sam Flannel might need SMA.
I do not need SMA right
he
now.
wants to keep dissing Tom Kennedy. And the Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. And update, it's time to talk about that NFL Top 100 list because what did I tell you? What did I tell you? If Justin Fields made that list, you're damn straight. Jared Goff deserves to make that list, and there he is. Coming in at 66, Jared Goff. What a breath of fresh air here. And I see, you know what, and we'll get into the whole, Jared ranked over Trevor, ranked over Lamar. We'll get into that conversation. But he wasn't the only Lion to make this list. Amon-Ra St. Brown, another one that I knew should make this list. I saw Terry McLaurin in the 90s. I got a little worried there, but I still stuck to my guns, and I still believed Amon-Ra and Jared Goff should make this list. I still believe Frank Ragnow has a chance to make this list. I don't know if it'll happen. I think he deserves it. But just to speak on Jared and Amon-Ra, and I think Ryan brought this up yesterday on Ermanni and Edwards. So far, that's what? 3 Lions or 2 Lions so far. It's Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's 3.
Aiden.
And Aiden, excuse me. Aiden, thank you. That make the top 100 list so far. The last time that many Lions made it, 2015. 5 Lions made the top 100 list. We'll see how many more can make this list. But let's talk about it for a second. Jared Goff.
Yes.
Jared Goff. Jared Goff. I told you. If we're going to rank guys based on one season, how can you not have a guy in this list, which I'm glad they do, that was top 5, top 6 in multiple categories? If we're going to base Justin Fields, his big year, right, his huge year of 17 touchdowns and 11 interceptions, and only had 2 games of passing over 200 yards, his huge year in the top 100, of course we got to have Jared Goff.
Well, you definitely have to have Jared Goff. And for some context on the Jared Goff ranking, this was the first time that he appeared on this list since the 2019 list after the 2018 season, in which he was ranked number 32. So the fact that Jared Goff was able to persevere from, I would say, the 3 years of mid to very much earn a spot on this list, he has to be commended. And you talked about all those categories where Jared Goff was right up there with some of the elites of the elites. Jared Goff was 6th in the NFL in passing yards this year, more than Jalen Hurts. He was tied for 5th in touchdown passes. He had more than Justin Herbert. He was 5th in QBR. He had a higher QBR than Joe Burrow, and he was 7th in passer rating and had a higher passer rating than Josh Allen. I'm not saying that Jared Goff is as good as these quarterbacks, because he is clearly not, but he did have the best season of his career. He did orchestrate an offense which was top 5 in scoring, and he threw 29 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. And when you look at his lack of interceptions, he had less than Joe Burrow. He had less than Josh Allen. He had less than Justin Herbert. So he had a phenomenal year by his standards, which is worthy of being on this list. I guess the question is, will he continue to make it during his time with Detroit? Time will tell. But I didn't know that Jared Goff had this in him. So I am, not to be condescending, I'm proud of him. He bounced back.
Yes, and no, he did. I think that's a great way to say it. He bounced back, because people forget, too, the Super Bowl year. He took the Rams to the Super Bowl. I think he ranked 32. He was in the 30s.
32, yeah.
So for him, who after that year wasn't in the top 100, and now he gets himself back in the top 100, coming in at 66. And right behind him at 67, Amon-Ra St. Brown. But just to give some context to who's around him, Geno Smith came in at 77, rightfully deserved. I think people, for whatever reason, I know if we're going off 1 year, technically Geno had more touchdown passes. But for some reason, Geno has one great year and everybody crowns him. I'm not saying he's not great, he's not good. But for some reason, it does frustrate me when you come out with these top quarterback rankings, and Geno's always ahead of Jared Goff. This is according to the players. The players picked Jared Goff at 66. He comes in. Amon-Ra again at 67, rightfully deserved. I think another interesting part of this, and this is what I want to get your thoughts on, because we'll get to the Jared Goff conversation next segment, but Zach Martin comes in at 68, who, I mean, we would make the argument he's the best guard in the league at this point, or one of, if not. So you're confident, Sam Flannel, that anybody else on the Detroit Lions can make this list? You still got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You got Frank Ragnow, Penei Sewell. Anybody come to mind you think can make this list, or is it just going to be 3?
I mean, I think Penei Sewell deserves to be on this list. I thought that he would rank somewhere in the 60s to 70s, but if he falls in the 50s or in the 40s, I think that would be somewhat appropriate. But you do mention Zach Martin. I think that Zach Martin is a better player than Penei Sewell right now, and I don't think that's a hot take. Even Chris Lidstrom being at, I believe, 86 or 87, I think he's a better player than Penei Sewell right now, but obviously he was, I think, ranked a little bit too low, Chris Lidstrom. And then I also mentioned Laramie Tunzel and Tristan Wirfs. They were ranked in the 80s and 90s, respectively. So I'm a little bit worried that they're going to leave off Penei Sewell. But at the same time, I also felt that way when I saw DeAndre Hopkins in the 90s, when I saw Terry McLaurin at 94. I'm like, are they really about to snub this man, Amon-Ra St. Brown? But no, they certainly did not. They put him at a ranking which I believe this year is fair. I believe he will shoot up the rankings coming next year. But what Penei Sewell did this year, being definitely, to me, at worst, a top 10 tackle in the NFL, and at best, a top 5 tackle in the NFL, I think he will be recognized. I think that he's one of those type of players that when you watch him play, you see it more than even his numbers will indicate, or his pass blocking numbers or his run blocking numbers, which are elite, by the way. I just think he's a guy that is probably even more respected by his peers than he is fans and pundits like us. So I think Penei Sewell will be on somewhere between 50 and 60, and I think that would be about right.
Yeah, no, I think it's fair. And if you talk about other Lions, Penei Sewell, I don't know if he'll make this list. I think Frank Ragnow still maybe has a chance, but if I had to bake my money on it, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is the only guy I think deserves to make this list. What he did last year, and I know he was hurt, but still, what he had, 6, 7 interceptions in 12 games. I mean, that's he played in 12 games, but that's unreal. So I think he deserves to make this list. Frank Ragnow, and I had Alex pull some stats for me, too, yesterday on Frank Ragnow, comparing him to other centers in the NFL. And honestly, I know we had this conversation, him versus, Creed Humphrey, and you guys, I went back and forth with you and Lucas about it. If you just go off, I guess, a comparison, those numbers, Those numbers look pretty good for Frank Ragnow. And I know it's numbers for an offensive a center, but still you make the comparison. I mean, Frank Ragnow, if you talk about pressures allowed, and we had this conversation yesterday because me and Lucas went back and forth because Mahomes is more mobile, so therefore pressures are how they're C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I don't think Penei will make it. I think Penei will make it throughout his career, but the biggest giveaway to me, Sam Flannel, is when they put Laramie Tunsil at 85, Taron Armstead at 83, and then you have Tristan Wirfs at 98.
Yeah.
Like those guys, Sam Flannel, those are elite tackles. And I'm not saying Penei isn't that, but he might be a year away from making the list.
So you really think Penei Sewell won't make the list?
I don't.
Wow.
I think the telltale sign will be if Andrew Thomas goes. If Andrew Thomas is on this list, which I'm expecting him to be based on how he performed this year, if he is, then I expect Penei to be too. Maybe they're just holding him because they're more athletic. Andrew Thomas was, I think, he wasn't an All-Pro this year. Might have been second-team All-Pro, but he just got signed to a 5-year extension while he's still on his rookie deal. So that dude's a dog. If he's on this list, then Penei has to be. But like you said, we haven't seen him yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're probably Andrew Thomas and Penei Sewell. If they were to be ranked, I would probably put them in a similar ballpark with each other. And back to Frank Ragnow, because we're on the subject as well. I mean, when you look at those numbers, I mean, maybe I was a little bit too quick to crown Creed Humphrey as definitively much better than Frank Ragnow. Because when you look at those numbers, it's a lot closer than you would think, and especially when it comes to pass blocking, the numbers actually favor Frank Ragnow. I'm looking at him right with my eyes. I can see it. When you look at Creed Humphrey, his PFF grade when it comes to run blocking was in the low 90s, and Frank Ragnow's was 77. Take PFF with a grain of salt. I think Creed Humphrey is still a little bit better, but I mean, Frank Ragnow, if he's on this list, I wouldn't be mad at it. I don't expect him to. And C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I think the one thing that's going to work against him, and I'm not saying this is fair, I'm not saying this is right, and I think he would have been if he didn't miss those 5 games. Yeah. Despite having 6 interceptions in 12 games, he didn't even make the Pro Bowl. He didn't make an All-Pro team. So I don't know if he'll make it, but you know when he will make it? Next year, after he balls out for the Detroit Lions and has the best year of his career. Let's go. C.J. Gardner-Johnson season incoming.
And I want to look at some of these comments because people are sharing their thoughts on Penei Sewell making the top 100 list. Andrew Klingerman says he's definitely on the list. The players know who Sewell is, no doubt. Dirty Burrito says Penei is on that list solely for that catch in Minnesota. Yeah, best receiving tackle in the league. I'll stand by that. And Hoof Hearted says PFF is pretty good for ranking linemen. It's just so freaking hard to rank them. Yeah, that's true, too. Yeah. And Big Con 51 says best line in the league and no one on the list. I don't think so. They're on there. And that's the other part, too. And it depends how you rank because top 100 players, it's all positions. It's based on players. I think if players can respect what Penei Sewell is, you'd think he'd be a top 100 player. It's all opinion-based off of the actual guys who play the game. I don't know. Now, if Penei makes it, great. Like I said, 5 players made it in 2015. That's the most, and hasn't hit that number since. If you even can have 3-4, Gabby, I think that's somewhat significant, right? 3-4 Lions on the top 100 list, and they're all very young players. That's great news.
Slow progress. We're all about the slow progress, year after year. We're not trying to make a splash. We're not trying to, jump into the deep end right away. Just getting those reps in. We're making our way up that list. We're getting that respect from the national media again. We're working on it.
It'll slowly get here, especially for Aiden. And you said this comment the other day, Sam Flannel. I think it was you. You said this is the highest Aiden will be in his entire career.
Yeah, for the next decade.
Lowest,
yes,
excuse me.
Yes,
he's going to continue to rise. I agree with that. I think over the next couple of years, Penei Sewell will be on this list consistently. I think there's a chance that guys like Amon-Ra he'll always keep rising on this list, but he'll be on this list. I think a guy in Jameson Williams has the potential to be on this list if he can fulfill and live up to what we expect him to be. A lot of excitement, a lot of
Sam Laporta.
And by the way, I want to bring this up to Lucas. What do you think, Lucas? I mean, when you look at this list and you see Mark Andrews coming at 80. I think we'd all safely say Sam Laporta should be in the 50s. If Mark Andrews is 80, I mean, to your ranking
we're
on Sam
saying
Laporta.
Next year?
No, right now. Just put him at 50. I mean, if this is where we're going with Sam Laporta.
Look,
Mark Andrews is no Sam Laporta.
We might be at Dispo. I might have hit some Dispo before the show, but I'm not that Dispo'd out, okay?
All right, I was just checking.
He will be on this list by year 2, though.
Okay.
Wow.
By year 2, he'll be on the list.
So 1 year. What's his stats going to have to look like to make the top 100?
I think as a tight end making the top 100, got to be close to 800 yards.
So you think rookie year, we'll just give him 1,000. Give him 1,000 double-digit touchdowns.
Putting words in my mouth here,
No.
Iafrate.
Hey.
Listen, 500-600 yards, 5 touchdowns, about 40 catches. That's what Laporta's getting.
Okay.
Then we'll see that sophomore jump.
Yeah, that sophomore jump, historic.
I'm telling you, with Sam Laporta, it's going to be.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good damn football player, per his words.
And Denver, Blair says Aiden got there in 1 year. But also, Aiden had 9.5 sacks and 3 picks. So, I mean, if Sam Laporta's equivalent to that would be like 800 yards.
Oh,
so.
yeah, and Aiden Hutchinson, and with all due respect, Lucas Klotz was a much better prospect coming out than Sam Laporta. Like number
Watch
2
your
overall.
mouth, Flannel.
Hey,
watch it.
Number 2 overall versus second-round pick. High second-round pick, albeit, but still. And Aiden Hutchinson, I think the thing about him, which worked to his advantage, is that he came to a defense where you could argue on day one he was the best overall player. He didn't always show it for the first 6 or 7 weeks of the season, except against Washington, but there was a lot of room for him to start to grow, to get a ton of reps, and he was able to accumulate a damn good season in which he led all rookies in sacks, and you saw his impact on the field, especially even against the run and intercepting 3 passes, including Aaron Rodgers at the goal line. So right. I don't think Sam Laporta is going to get the type of reps and opportunities to be on this list next year, but after he's going to break the receiving yards record in a season and get 17 touchdowns. Is it like Gronk did that one year? Is that what's going to happen, Lucas Klotz? Once he gets that, he's top 30.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Lucas knows ball. So if
he does know ball.
Coach Walk knows.
Yeah,
Lucien knows. Those are my dogs.
He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Everybody's on board with Lucas. We shall see. But I'll tell you what, we'll go to break. When we get back, we'll get into just kind of the Jared Goff discussion, him being ranked over Trevor Lawrence, him being ranked over Lamar Jackson, and we'll see, is that fair? Is that fair? We'll talk about all that and much more. But before we do that, I got to tell you an elite defense that you can always rely on, and that's Guardian Alarm. Guardian Alarm's got customized solutions from real experts. They got 24/7 professional monitoring, and they got technology that's backed by people. All you got to do is call 1-800-STAY-OUT. Tell your friends at Woodward Sports sent you. I repeat, call 1-800-STAY-OUT. And I swear, they'll keep you on that NFL Top 100 list. You'll never have to stay out. All you got to do, call 1-800-STAY-OUT. Tell your friends at Woodward Sports sent you.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. At Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Welcome, everybody, back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Don't forget to hit the like button on the video. We'll try to get to 100 likes before this segment is over. And if you can't catch the show live, don't worry about it. You can go back and re-listen on any podcast platform you listen to, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave a 5-star review for the Morning Woodward Show. And don't forget, you should be watching on the website, by the way. Go check out our merchandise, like this wonderful hat I got on right here. You got articles coming out by the day with Lions training camp already here upon us. But I want to stick with this NFL Top 100 list because we brought up Jared Goff, but the conversation I have seen after this ranking has come out is people flustered and frustrated and confused why Jared Goff made this list, or at least was ranked higher on this list than guys like Lamar Jackson or a guy like Trevor Lawrence. Because I'll tell you this, if we're going off 5-year projections, I would take Trevor Lawrence. I agree with that. I think Trevor Lawrence, as he continues to grow in the NFL, is going to only get better and better and better. So, but this ranking isn't based on projection. This is based off last season. They've already made that clear with guys like Geno Smith on this list. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson's on this list, so clearly it's based off last year. And you cannot make an argument to me that Jared Goff shouldn't be ranked over Lamar and Trevor. I know it sounds weird. It sounds, what? Lamar's an MVP winner. What did he do last season? I'll wait. Because I love Lamar. I'll defend him. But if you're going off last season, there is no argument, Sam Flannel, that Jared Goff should not be ranked above those guys. If you want to go which player is more dynamic, of course, Lamar, you're going to take Lamar. And I would argue Lamar has more passing touchdowns in his MVP year than Jared's ever had in his career. But that was when? Was that last season?
2019.
No, it wasn't.
2019.
So that's why I'm perfectly okay with Jared Goff being ranked above those guys. But because people tend to get that confused. Trevor Lawrence, what? He's in the 90s. He had a great season. But he will, as his career continues as he continues to grow in the NFL, he will be higher on this list. But I don't think right now he deserves to be, Sam Flannel.
Interesting angle, Jeff Iafrate. I will give you that because I'm usually a guy who likes to look at numbers. And Jared Goff, by the numbers, he had more touchdown passes than Trevor Lawrence. He certainly had more than Lamar Jackson, who himself missed 5 games, and that definitely hurt him on this list because I think he was on pace to have his best season as a thrower, but he got hurt, and that's the type of things that happen to a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, who is such a dynamic runner. But I don't think it is just solely based on last season. And even if it was, the fact that Trevor Lawrence is 96 and Jared Goff was 66, I think is malfeasance at this point. I think you got to be dipping into some of that dispo stuff. And I'm not saying that you said that Trevor Lawrence at 96 is right. If you want to say that Trevor Lawrence may be a little bit below Jared Goff, I can listen to that argument, but I will not do that. Because Trevor Lawrence last season, he completely broke out after having a terrible rookie year. And one of the most impressive things about Trevor Lawrence, and when I say this, I obviously have to have a caveat, there was a 4-game stretch. One of the games was when they played the Lions and obviously got beat down. That was a total.
James Houston killed a man that day.
Hey, absolutely, like
that is true.
But that was like a total team defeat by for the Jaguars and a total team victory by the Lions. And in that game, Jared Goff outplayed Trevor Lawrence for sure, and the Lions look better. But in those other 3 games, that the Jacksonville Jaguars desperately needed, Trevor Lawrence took over that team and won those games basically by himself, throwing 10 touchdowns and 1 interception. While their defense in those 3 games was allowing 28 points per game, he was leading his offense to 35 points per game. And that also helped kickstart a stretch in which they won 5 in a row to end the season to get into the playoffs, win a playoff game that Trevor Lawrence helped dig the hole that they were in. But the fact that he was able to get out of it and lead them to a comeback victory was absolutely huge. When it comes to Lamar Jackson, that's an interesting one because I think it's a knock on Lamar Jackson that he's only thrown for 3,000 passing yards once in his career, in his MVP season, the same season in which he also broke the record for rushing yards by a QB in a year. So That's a tough one because I have a lot of respect for what Lamar Jackson has accomplished. He's obviously been injured the last couple of years, but he's put together a hell of a resume so far. 101 touchdowns, 38 interceptions, an MVP, 2,000-yard seasons, 4,437 rushing yards, 24 touchdowns, and a 45-16 record as a regular season starter. But Lamar Jackson's biggest knock is he has been an absolutely morbid playoff player, just absolutely awful. 1-3 record, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, has never once had a good playoff game. Jared Goff really hasn't either. But that's beside the point. I think when it comes to this list, it can't just solely be based on last year. I think if it was, you could argue that Geno Smith should have been above Jared Goff, but he wasn't because people knew that he was this anomaly like we'd never seen before. A complete draft bust, had one good year, and now he was ranked below Jared Goff, who has proven more in his career than Geno Smith. So I think cachet and skill set does have to play some of a role. So for that reason, Jared Goff should not be ranked ahead of Trevor Lawrence and Lamar Jackson. He should be on this list. I think 66 is about where he should be. Not ahead of those two.
Well, it's the argument I would push back on, at least for Jared Goff, is he was the hottest quarterback to close the season the last 8 games. 15 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Now, Trevor Lawrence is actually pretty close to that. I think the last 8 he had 14 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So regardless, it's pretty close, especially how they closed the season. But I like to take into account also team record a little bit. 8-2 to end the season. Not only was Jared one of the hottest quarterbacks to close the season, but on top of that, the Lions were one of the best teams to close the season, going 8-2. So when you look at recency bias and the last thing people have in their heads, it's Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions taking down Green Bay on primetime. It's the last 8 where Jared didn't throw 1 interception and looked really good. Like, although I agree with you, I think on a basic, when you ask a player who puts more fear in your soul, Lamar Jackson or Jared Goff, I think the common answer would be, well, Lamar. He's more dynamic. But I don't think Lamar Jackson, as much as I think in a common year, especially, for example, his MVP year, he would be way higher. Oh, yeah. I don't think you should give a guy, flowers for only playing in 12 games and still, 17 passing touchdowns in 12 games. I love Lamar, and I think we can all talk about how dynamic he is, but you can't, and I do think it is based off last season, because to your point, Geno Smith had more touchdown passes, but a little bit of the eyeball test comes into play where Jared had 2 less touchdown passes, but he's better than Geno. I don't think Lamar, what he did last season, that doesn't deserve him to be ranked ahead of Goff. Now, if you're mad on where they're ranked, should Trevor be in the 80s, all that stuff, who gives a damn? The point is, I think Trevor and Lamar, as much as I think those guys are rising and will continue to rise, Jared Goff, he deserves it. What he did last season, especially to close the season, Sam, he was if not the hottest quarterback in the NFL to close the season.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I think Jared Goff and Trevor Lawrence, when it comes to team success, their seasons kind of mirror each other a little bit, because the Jaguars, they started out the year very, 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 very slow, and there was a lot of talk that Trevor Lawrence is a bust. Maybe he can't play, and the fact that he was able to turn it around, they won their last 5 games. Their only real blemish at the end of the year was at Detroit when they absolutely got mollywopped, but when it comes to how they both ended the year, yeah, you're right. You could argue that they were 2 of the hottest quarterbacks, and those were 2 of the hottest teams. So by all those numbers, I would say that their rankings should be maybe more similar than I initially thought. I would still put Trevor Lawrence above him, because when you just look at them play, Trevor Lawrence is eons more talented than Jared Goff. You talk about Jared Goff and the eye test. Sorry, no disrespect. He doesn't wow you with the eye test at all. And I'm somebody who doesn't really look at the eye test as much as others, but Trevor Lawrence his ceiling is a top 2 quarterback in the NFL. I truly believe that. He'll never be number 1. That's Patrick Mahomes for the next 15 years. But number 2, that could be Trevor Lawrence. And I get it. He hasn't done it yet, but he took some major, major, major steps. And you even mentioned in the game at Arrowhead in the playoffs, he wasn't bad. He wasn't great, but he went toe-to-toe for part of the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
The game was close. Maybe Trevor didn't light it up, but that Chargers game, and I think that showed a lot of mental fortitude, although, players, if they're voting on quarterbacks, I think some of the players that picked him off, like Asante Samuel, would be voting in this process. So maybe they thought, hey, Trevor Lawrence, he's going to be great, but right now he's not playing at the same level as Jared Goff. And I know that sounds, what? Trevor Lawrence, I think he's better than I get that, and I think he'll be better, but you can't argue, and Sam, you can't argue statistics, right? I think we could all agree there. Jared Goff had more touchdown passes, 2 more interceptions, but the yards were roughly the same. Trevor had 4,100, Jared had almost 4,500. Yeah. So regardless, although I agree with you, eyeball test, Trevor's 6'6", can move, he's mobile, he's got a cannon, he's poised, all that stuff is great. But Jared Goff, he was the hottest quarterback to end the season. I do think that's why they factor in. We'll see if he can repeat it this year.
And to be fair, and this is I'm a guy who takes in all the information. I can admit when I can almost devil's advocate myself, but I'm about to do that right now.
Yep.
Should Trevor Lawrence get a ton of credit for playing one of the worst first halves I've ever seen from a quarterback and bouncing back from that? I mean, he put them in that hole single-handedly.
Right.
The fact that he's able to bounce back is good, but wouldn't it have been better if he would have just played a good, clean football game from snap one and not had to put his team in a 27-0 hole?
Fair.
Yeah. So I don't want to go too overboard and be like, wow, Trevor Lawrence showed great great fortitude or intestinal fortitude. He also put them in the hole with some of the worst quarterback play I've ever seen in a half, to the point where he looked unrecognizable. I'm like, is that Urban Meyer on the sideline? Did he come in and coach this team and take away all of Trevor Lawrence's powers? So I don't know. I still think he should be above Jared Goff, but Jared Goff did have a great year. I don't want to take anything away from him.
And I get where you're coming from here. Public Enemy says, Jeff, don't forget 324 consecutive passes without an interception. Jake says, oh, yeah, Goff came short against Carolina. Had nothing to do with giving up over 300 yards rushing. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a
I
big
would
part.
Never say that in a million years.
No, and I think he's referencing another comment.
How you guys are feeling about his impending contract negotiations.
I still feel the same, and this is why I guess, it's good you brought this up, because I think Goff deserves to get more credit than he gets. I think that's one thing. I do feel Goff, people still have this memory in their mind about what Jared looked like post making the Super Bowl. But the guy's 28 years old. He's still, I believe, in quarterbacks you see, like Geno Smith's, 33? He just had a career season.
Yeah.
Like, quarterback, it's not the running back position, guys. Jared Goff's not has bad knees now. Like, he'll be fine. As he gets older, I do think there's a chance that Jared can improve. But this isn't about Jared improving or, Jared's future in Detroit. My problem is the contract. What does the contract look like? Because if I'm Jared Goff, I think he deserves minimum 40 a year because what Daniel Jones got. I'm not saying I would, but I'm just saying if you're looking at Daniel Jones and he got 40, Jared should get 45, 50. He's that much better than Daniel Jones, I believe. So if I'm the Detroit Lions, would I pay him $45, $50 million? I don't think so. And that's not, again, this is why, and if you watch Inside the Den, they took Hendon Hooker and they kept referencing high upside. Upside. You don't draft a quarterback if you think he'll ride the bench his entire career. They think there's a chance Hendon can take over for Jared. Therefore, I'm a little hesitant. I wouldn't pay him that much money, but if Jared comes to the table and says, hey, I want to sign a 2-year extension, roughly a little under 40 or 40 a year, maybe I'll consider it. But I'm not signing a long-term deal with Jared Goff. I think that money should be pushed around to the other players, Amon-Ra, Jonah Jackson, Penei Sewell. I'd rather pay those guys and roll out with Hendon Hooker.
Well, and you know why it's significant now, because we were having these same conversations before the draft, but now there is a clear and pleasant and present plan if the Lions want to move on from Jared Goff, if they don't want to pay him that long-term deal worth $45 to $50 million a year. They've got Hendon Hooker waiting in the wings, and I don't think Brad Holmes is the type to just let a draft pick on fire. I understand that Jared Goff can go a long way this year and validating what he did last season and showing that he is a huge part of this team's success, and then I would consider giving him more money. But as of right now, Jared Goff has to show me a little bit more, because I'm still not sold on the fact that if you were to bring in like a Hendon Hooker next year, would the offense run almost as seamlessly? Maybe not right away, but within that as the year goes on and maybe at the end of the year. I mean, who knows?
You know what? I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I think the offense, the ceiling raises with Hendon Hooker because of his mobility, because of what he can do. Again, you have a guy who's 6'4", can run when healthy a 4.5, 4.4 speed, has a cannon. Like, there's things that Hendon needs to learn. He's not, Tom Brady coming out of college. He's fine. Like, he's not going to be the greatest quarterback of all time.
That was the first thing that they said when they drafted him. Like, he's gonna do really well behind Jared Goff. He's gonna take this time and he's gonna learn from Jared Goff.
There's still a learning process. Yeah. I don't want to crown the guy like he's ready to start, but you can't tell me after a year of getting healthy and starting and learning the offense and working that you won't have confidence in Hendon Hooker. Like, eventually. He's 25 years old right now. So you can't deny the guy will be better and better. I'm excited to see his development. So we'll see.
Trust me, I believe in Hendon Hooker.
But I want to make this clear, too, because people, when you say you don't want to extend Goff, they think you hate him. I don't hate Goff. I appreciate Goff. I think the Lions are very fortunate to have Jared Goff. Where I give pushback is that price tag. And that doesn't mean I hate Goff. That just means that's a lot of money, Sam Flannel. Yeah. And that's a lot of money if you're talking about valuable players. like foundational players. I think Jonah Jackson, you want to re-sign him. Amon Ra, you're going to have to re-sign him. Penei Sewell, you're going to want to re-sign him. Like, there's guys that you got to pay. And to be honest with you, I'd rather pay those guys.
Well,
and if that's called hating Jared Goff, then so be it.
No,
I mean, it's not about that.
It is not hating Jared Goff. And as the great Ringo Starr said in the movie Help, when it comes to Jared Goff, there's more than meets the eye. It's not just he had a great season, the offense was great. He's going to be our quarterback of the future. That's why it is a salary cap league, and you have to take all of that into account. And you also have to take into account that the last 3 years, I mean, I said at the beginning, he took a 3-year break from even being on the NFL top 100. And I'm not saying that's everything, but that is something. He's got to validate what he did last year 100% before I even think of giving him $45, $50 million a year. And even then, I might not do it.
So I'll tell you what. We'll go to break when the camera gets off of me real quick, and then we'll get it to Sam Flannel because he's got to read a big boy read for us. Tell us about
a big boy read. Yes, because JB unfortunately doesn't have a camera, so I will do the best to do about a third as good of a job. And Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Welcome back to the morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, support the show. We have a very special guest, as from last time, our good friend Toby from Dispo, the VP of Marketing and Sales here at Dispo. And Toby, number one, thank you for taking the time to join us. Thank you for, again, allowing us to be at this location. We say this every time, and I've been here a handful of times already. This place it feels like it gets bigger every time I return, and I don't know why, but you guys are getting the place filled with vendors. Any updates on some of the vendors that are coming in there so people can come check them out?
So Goldkind is in here right now. We got MKS coming in. We have Stizzy, Sauce. And so we're just we're growing with everyone here, and everyone kind of wants to be part of it. Just a new experience, and it's awesome to see the feedback from our patrons that come in here and how much they like it and love the education part, love getting swag. And for people that are not close to the Romeo location, they really kind of make this a destination. Hey, I got to come out here, check it out, especially on Fridays with the food trucks and the DJs and all that other good stuff. So it's pretty cool and nice to see.
Absolutely. And Toby, speaking of growing and expanding, tell us a little bit more about your new location in Whitmore Lake.
Yeah, so Dispo has a new location out in Whitmore Lake, not too far from Ann Arbor. It's on 50 North Territorial Drive over there. It's just about 5-10 minutes away, but great location. And it's a very humbling location. It's just got a lot of blue-collar people in that area, kind of that speaks to us, right? And one thing that we're tasked to do is whenever we find a location, we look into the community and we look at the surroundings. And yes, you have Ann Arbor, and yes, you have all the surrounding cities around there, but able to give back to those people that are already established. You know, we're working with a landscaping company out there. We're working with painters out there. We're really trying to pump in revenue within that community, not just for us, but the entire people. So it's a great location. Our manager, Alan Morogi, out there is doing a great job. We got Hendo, Nisa, everybody out there. They're just killing it. And it's just really, really nice to see us kind of contribute to a location over there. A beautiful store. And it's right off that highway over there, and you can't miss it.
Yeah, no, it really is. I got people that always comment in the chat, like, when are they opening up a location in Oakland County, in this county, in this county? I'm like, guys, they already have over 12. Like, they're going to keep expanding. They will reach your area soon enough. I'm telling you, if you're in at least remotely close to at least this location in Romeo, come stop by. You guys are going to have a DJ today, food trucks, right?
Yes, sir.
The whole 9 yards.
Whole 9 yards, yeah.
So just to switch the convo, you mentioned blue, you mentioned blue collar, so I'll go with blue. You mentioned Ann Arbor.
Okay.
So I want to talk a little bit about Michigan.
Because
you know what, Toby, and this is the most interesting thing, and Sam Flannel's the biggest Michigan fan, at least on this show. He's a resident Michigan fan.
Nice.
And we like to have fun. I like to poke at him sometimes, but I want your thoughts, right? Jim Harbaugh buying a cheeseburger, but not just more. It's more than the cheeseburger. But when you first read the news, Jim Harbaugh is being suspended the first 4 games. Your reaction to it?
You know, I don't know what we can say or not say on
let it
the air.
fly.
I mean, I just think it's fucking bullshit. Listen, here's the thing. I'm a Michigan fan. I'm a state of Michigan fan in general. You know, I'll be honest with you. When Michigan State's playing Ohio State, I'm going go green all the time. You know, when Michigan State plays Michigan, I'm sorry, I got to go blue. I'm a Jim Harbaugh fan. Loved Jim Harbaugh when he was at Michigan. Loved him when he was in the NFL. Wherever he kind of goes, I just like the swag he brings. He's kind of a quirky guy, but he brings that different type of dynamic. So when I hear about that, I just kind of was like, whatever. And then I coached lacrosse at Oakland University, and I dealt with a lot of things throughout the NCAA. And personally, I feel like the NCAA is a little bit shady itself. You have all these institutions, and granted, you have that conversation of, you're paying these kids to get an education. Yeah, but you're also making money off these kids, all right? You're also doing this name and likeness deal, like that kind of changed the game. But I look at it as like college football is just is a juggernaut. So why don't you run it like an NFL franchise? Why don't you run your program like a MLB team franchise, a sports franchise? An X amount of dollars that you guys get, you allocate it in a way you raise sponsorship. So then when I hear this story about Jim Harbaugh buying a dude a cheeseburger and kind of not reporting it or whatever, it's just like
forgetting the receipt.
You're just talking about Big Ten football. You're telling me that the SEC doesn't do things like that? You don't think that Nick Saban is doing that in Alabama? It's just a witch hunt for me. Michigan's it's been up and coming for a while since he was over here, and he's really growing the program. Top 5 team. Now, is Jim Harbaugh being sidelined for 4 games going to affect Michigan
against
football?
Bowling Green?
I would hope not. I think that he's instilled a big-time culture in Ann Arbor where they can, do well without him on game day Saturday.
Is it the year, Toby? Michigan winning the Natty?
Listen.
Only team to return this year from the college football playoff with their quarterback. What do you think?
You know what? I would like to say that they got to be at the national championship game.
Okay.
Now, listen, they're in the national championship game. Is it against Alabama? Is it against Georgia? I don't know, but I think they need to be in that national championship. I feel good about this team. I feel good about everyone they've brought back, and I'm excited about the new talent that they have coming in. So, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I think it's national championship or bust at this point.
There you go.
Here's the thing. Obviously, with Jim Harbaugh being suspended, I don't really care like why or what or anything. If he didn't deserve to be suspended, he's going to be suspended for the first 4 games. It's going to be against teams that Michigan should beat by 30 in all of them. So when he comes back, just go win. If you want to get the best revenge, even if you don't deserve revenge, but Jim Harbaugh obviously feels he does, if you want to kind of have that chip on your shoulder, be petty, go to the national championship game, win that game, and then just give the NCAA the proverbial finger. Actually, if you're Jim Harbaugh, when you win the Natty, just do it for real at that point. So that's kind of my thoughts, that Jim Harbaugh is the type of guy that will coach with a chip on his shoulder, and those first 4 games won't affect him, and then it's all over. Could you see a pathway to them maybe winning the Natty, and maybe this actually helps them because Jim Harbaugh's he's a chippy guy. He is.
He carries a chip, and then once he carries a chip, it kind of just it's the domino effect with his team, and his team loves playing for him. Michigan's all about the team. And I really like their chances this year. Everyone's talking about this rival game at Michigan State. It's a late game now. It's 7:30.
What do you think about that?
I am hearing, if you're a Michigan fan, don't even go to East Lansing. It's going to be chaotic.
What do you think about that?
Listen, I don't care. It's a rival game. Anything's going to happen. It doesn't matter what your record is or whatever. But when you play at a night game, any night game on national television, you're telling me if Michigan doesn't come out to play that game, you're sleeping on the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah.
I think they're going to come into there, and it just adds more fuel to their fire. They're going to see that it's on prime time, a night game, a rivalry game. It's the whole, Michigan State rivalry. Michigan's going to win that game. They got to win that game.
Toby, you got to get in that Wolverines locker room and start talking to these guys before the game, man. I'm fired up. I want to put a helmet on and go to war for you, Toby.
I love it.
Again, appreciate Toby for joining us, man.
Yeah, no,
Seriously.
I appreciate it. And, if you're a Go Blue fan, on your way to Ann Arbor, stop at Whitmore Lake. Dispo Whitmore Lake there. They'll take care of you. And as always, gentlemen, I really appreciate you, the staff, and your team for putting out such great product.
Yeah, as always, we appreciate you guys, man. You guys always take care of us. I'm telling you, in terms of dispos, nobody touches these guys. Yeah. I will back that. And truly, the experience is what separates Dispo from everybody else. If you're by Romeo, come and join us here. They'll have, again, a DJ, food trucks. It's going to be a great time. Come stop by and so much more. But before we go to break, I got to hear about our friends from Randy Wise, to be honest with you. Or we'll just hear about our friends over at Swiss Insurance because I'll just tell you about them. Or no, Sam, you'll tell us about them.
Oh, I've got Swiss Insurance, of course. And now that summer's here, it is important to make sure you are properly covered. Whether it's a grad party or just a group of people over to enjoy the lake or pool, your liability exposure increases significantly in summertime. Let the Swiss Insurance Group review your coverage and make sure you are protected from an unexpected loss. Check us out at SwissINS.com or call Mark today at 248-800-4177. Again, that is 248-800-4177, Swiss Insurance.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. Baby, talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
That sounds intriguing, doesn't it? All you got to do, again, you take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. All you got to do is purchase a 24-pack today. You're already entered to win the 100K Vegas getaway. Go to drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy a Cintron at your local Meijer store. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with a great taste and the choice of people who desire to look good, feel great, and be the best versions of themselves. Sounds a lot like my guy Sam Flannel over here. Sounds like he's drinking Cintron.
Hey.
drinkcintron.com/Vegas. Welcome everybody back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Again, if you're on YouTube, hit that like button. We'll try to get to over 100 likes before the end of this segment. If you can't watch the show live, it's all good. You can go back and re-listen. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review. Morning Woodward Show.
5-star.
You can find us. If you're on the website, don't forget, check out the latest news, updates, show clips, everything, merchandise on that website. It has everything for you guys as well. I want to say before we continue, it is King Leo's birthday in the chat, so I got to give a shout out. Happy birthday, King Leo. Thank you for taking the time to choose us on your birthday. I think that's significant. But it is time for trivia. And in this edition of trivia, it's a little different, Gabby. Can you explain to everybody what we're doing today?
A little different. So trivia today, we were thinking about what are we going to do? What is our plan? And the plan today is to do a little bit of Woodward Sports trivia, get to know the Woodward Sports talent and staff and everyone here that makes this show happen. So we're going to start off, and I have questions that people have submitted about themselves that I'm going to ask Jeff and Flannel. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the heat because I'm going to be in the trivia hot seat today, and I'm going to answer some questions about Jeff and Flannel. So we're going to see. We're going to do a little flip-flop here, but we're going to start off with all of WSN aside from
everybody.
Jeff and Flannel. Oh, yeah. Everyone's involved in
If
this.
I get Gentry's wrong, if I get Gentry's question wrong,
Gentry
he's gonna
does
kill
not
me.
have a question ready for you.
Oh, thank gosh.
So
Thank gosh.
none
That
for
man would've
Gentry,
murdered
so you don't
me
have
if
to
I
worry
got it
about that friendship being ruined.
Okay. Love you, Michael. All right.
But we are starting off with Lucas, so hopefully you can get this
Oh,
question.
that's my other dog. I got to get this one right.
All right, ready? What organ did Lucas have transplanted? A, lung, B, liver, C, kidney, or D, heart?
You did not. If you had heart surgery, you never told me. What the hell? No wonder you got that dog in you. Is that what happened?
Hey.
Had that dog in him?
Give the guess.
right.
I'll say transplant. Okay.
Are
I
you
got
gonna lock in?
I got my
Okay.
answer.
Lock in.
3, 2, 1.
C.
No, the answer is A.
What's A?
Lung.
What was A?
You got a lung transplant, bro?
Lung?
Got a big old scar.
Man, gotta
on
show
me.
us?
Bro.
Yeah. I got pneumonia really bad when I was sick, or when I was
Okay,
little.
you did tell me.
And then I filled up with
Bad
fluid.
I'm a
Sitting
bad
there
friend.
one day, and little Luke's lung just went poof.
Oh.
I was in the hospital for like 2-3 months. Yeah.
You're a walking miracle.
He's got that dog in him.
Lucas, after the show, I want to give you like a hug. We almost
I'm
lost
here.
you,
No,
man.
he don't
I'm
do
here.
that.
Lost you, man.
He's fine. All
We
right.
almost lost you, man.
Lucas, just rub some dirt on it. You'll be all right.
I will be.
Rub some
All right.
dirt on it.
All right, we're gonna lighten. We're gonna lighten things up for the next question.
0-1.
What was the name of Spencer's championship-winning IM basketball team at Michigan State?
I got it.
You got
I
it?
have a feeling I know what
Okay.
Spencer would choose for this name.
A. McQuaid Mayhem. B. Mark. Oh God, what are these names? Dogtonios. C. Kenny going to get buckets.
That's a good
And
one, too.
D. The Magic Johnsons.
That Kenny going to get buckets is good.
Lock in.
I'll lock in.
Wow. Okay.
This
I
is
can
the-
barely say the names, and you guys are locked in. All right. 3, 2, 1.
B.
Wow.
I knew that one. He's told me many times. Yeah.
It sounds like a
Yeah.
Spencer name, dude. Like the dog Tonio. Like what was it?
Yeah.
The Dogtonios.
Damn, that's a-
Mark
that's a Spencer name.
Somebody
Dogtonios.
missed that one.
I
Yeah.
told them to submit questions that you guys wouldn't know, and
I didn't know
clearly
that one. Sam
he's
did.
told you plenty of times.
I've been on a show with him for like a long time, so
Yeah.
it comes up.
You remember. You
Yeah.
remember. Okay. Next, what was Easy's second best sport in high school?
He played sports?
A. Track.
Damn.
That's messed up. I love you, Easy.
Hey, that's my landlord.
I love him.
Don't talk about him.
That's my boy.
A. Track. B. Wrestling. C. Lacrosse. Or D. Basketball.
Okay,
know
no way
this
this
one.
man played
His
lacrosse.
second best sport in high school.
I think I'll lock in.
He didn't run. I know that. All right, we're good. I'm sorry. Okay, I love you, Easy. Okay, all right.
3, 2, 1.
B.
A.
The answer is C. Lacrosse.
What?
No
He played
way.
He
lacrosse?
tells me all the time about it. We'll be chilling.
That boy did not play
Yeah,
lacrosse.
he was good.
He was
He was
that
a- he
dude.
was
But it was his second best.
If you go look back at pictures of Easy back when he was like 19, 20.
No, he
yeah,
was
man,
good.
like he was probably a fucking.
I didn't know he liked
Force.
lax. I didn't know he liked lax.
I mean,
Wrestling? Whatever.
So we're
Did you
right
get that
now,
right?
we're 1-0, correct?
1-1.
1-0?
1-1.
1-1?
He got
1-1.
them Mark Dogtonios.
Oh, yes. 1-1. Okay. In 2011, the Big Ten leader in pickoffs had 12 in 94 IP. That same year,
Broder.
Matt Broder finished second in the Big Ten with how many pickoffs and 37 IP?
shout out, bro.
Broder was elite, dude.
Dog.
A,
Wow.
5, B, 7, C, 9, or D, 11?
I got it.
I'll lock in.
3, 2, 1.
C.
The answer is B, 7.
You want to get his nuts out of your mouth?
You know what?
What you talk? Matt, you talk to him or something?
Matt Broder is a good Michigan man, and actually, for real though, like I think we underestimate how good of an athlete he really was.
Oh, he's elite.
I don't think about him in the same way that I think of like Braylon Edwards or Darren McCarty, but he played college baseball at Michigan, and for those of you who don't know, he once struck out George Springer. You're welcome,
Played
Broder.
overseas in Germany too, pro.
Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that dude. I was not familiar with your game.
Brother, I was not familiar with your game.
I knew he was elite, but I didn't know the exact number. It's all right. 2-1. Sam's in the lead.
Okay, next question. Staying on the Michigan track, what year was Braylon in the Pro Bowl? A, 2006, B, 2009,
You know this.
C, 2008, or D, 2007?
Lock in.
No, I don't. Dude, Braylon was your favorite player, at least in college. So you had to
Was.
follow him in the NFL.
I did.
Damn. Wait, I don't know what the answers are. I forgot. Can you put the answers back up?
2006, 2009, 2008, or 2007?
Okay, I got it.
How many touchdowns
Just
did he have
2006 to 2009, but in the mixed order.
I got it.
3, 2, 1.
D.
D is the answer.
Yes. I think he had, 1287 and 16
He had
touchdowns?
like 16 touchdowns.
16
with the Browns.
touchdowns.
With
Yeah,
the
with the
Browns.
Browns. Derek Anderson is his quarterback.
Hey, Braylon. That's on me. That's on me. I was 1 year off. It's all right.
Okay.
Keep going. 2-1.
Next.
3-1.
Flannel's letting you know.
3-1 never
Whose
scared nobody.
favorite music genre is smooth jazz?
Oh, this is...
A, Maz, B, Gabby, C, Ryan, as in Ryan Ermanni, or D, Neil?
Smooth jazz. Kidding me?
I'll lock in.
Gotta be Maz.
Yeah, this is some weird smooth jazz.
I fuck with jazz. Jazz is good.
Jazz is good, but
Stop
smooth
it.
jazz,
Jazz is so good.
Miles Davis, John Coltrane. Let's go.
What? All right, I think I have an answer.
3, 2, 1.
B, C.
The answer is D, Neil.
Neil.
Oh my.
Neil, yeah.
Yeah, he's probably he
skiddity
just
scat.
lets out all of his rage
There
and he
is
gets
no
in the car.
way in hell that Neil runs on a treadmill and listens to smooth
That's
jazz.
when I listen to jazz a lot of the time. I listen to like jazz or like really peaceful music when I run because it calms your mind. It like lets you lock in and you're just like, oh, this isn't so bad. Like
Oh,
jazz
yeah.
has like
I can't
has
relate.
a constant flow.
Yeah, name the last time someone said, "Man, I need to be fired up. Turn on some jazz."
I love
It's not
Supreme
even
John
like that.
Coltrane.
It's like the ultimate like mental lock-in because there's nothing for you to get hyped up by but your mind, and then you kind of let everything flow.
You know
Of course
what?
it's
Next
Neil.
time you
Telling
make
you,
fun
it's-
of me for listening to white noise,
no,
I'm going to bring
white
this
noise.
up.
Gabby listens to white noise, where it's just like
475 hertz.
That's Dahmer activity. That's serial killer activity.
Yeah.
You're not
No.
even listening. You're just listening to noise. Like it's not even a sound. It's just
It's
like
static, but when I'm actually trying to get work done, I can't listen to music because it's either I'm paying attention to the lyrics or I'm paying attention to like the beat, and then I'm paying more attention to that than I am to the work that I'm doing.
I don't give that a
So,
pass.
white
I do
noise,
not give that a
just
pass.
Neil,
flat.
I got to have a conversation with Neil Rule
Yeah.
later on when he pulls up. But you know what? It is what it is. Did you get it right?
No.
No.
Thank God. Thank God. All right, we're good.
How many fights did Darren get into his rookie year?
Holy.
A, 23, B, 15, C, 19, or D, 7?
I got it.
I'm going to lock in.
3, 2, 1.
C.
The answer is A, 23.
What? How? How many games did he play? All right. That's all right. Wow.
Probably like 23. Maybe even 22. Maybe even 22.
I know he whooped a lot of ass, but I mean, 23, I picked 19. It is what it is. I knew it was a lot, but I just got it wrong. All right. Well,
D-Mac's a
3-1.
dog.
3-1 still. He is a dog.
Ryan Ermanni graduated from the University of Michigan in 2001. Do you know what his degree was in? A, broadcasting, B, multimedia, C, economics, or D, biochemistry?
Biochemistry? What are you, Walter White?
Watch it be biochemistry.
I'll lock
I'm
in.
gonna be
He ain't
so
Walter
weak.
White. We're going with, I'm locked in.
Lock in.
3, 2, 1.
B.
The answer is C, economics.
Economics.
Of course, it's something that
I don't
you
know in
didn't think it'd be.
2001 if like multimedia was a degree.
Oh, yeah, that's my bad.
Alex, our intern, says A and B both are not degrees that you can get at Michigan.
Wow.
Look at you, Flannel.
I'm
You're a fake Wolverine.
I am a fake
Well,
Wolverine. I didn't go there.
Can you buy a cheeseburger at Michigan? Is that allowed? Or what?
Oh, my
I mean,
God.
you can. You just better
All
keep
right.
the receipt.
No, you just got to remember to keep the receipt.
Yep.
Okay, that's fair.
All right.
3-1, right?
Yeah.
Now go into a little question about JB.
JB.
My dog. I got to get it right for JB.
JB has a signed football helmet by everyone listed below except for who? A. Lamar Jackson, B. Barry Sanders, C. Tyreek Hill, or D. Devontae Adams?
I got it.
I'm locking in.
3, 2, 1.
C.
The answer is D.
You ass.
Devontae Adams.
Devontae. Wow.
JB. Big dog.
What's up?
So how'd you just order all those online and you just didn't get the Devontae one or what?
No. So actually,
Got a package deal.
I won a lot of those helmets from the Facebook websites that I go on. Basically, you pay a little bit, just surprise helmet that you get. And I actually have 2 Barry Sanders helmets, a Lamar Jackson with the visor, and then a Chiefs Tyreek Hill helmet. Devontae Adams is the only one I do not have.
Oh, man.
I thought it'd be
out
Tyreek.
Of my 40 collection.
I said Tyreek
have.
too.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have 40 helmets?
JB's a
I have
legend.
40 helmets.
Wow.
JB, I just want to say personally, I'm sorry. I'll let you down.
My bad.
I'll let you down. That's
All
on
right.
me. All right, go on. 3-1.
We have the last question.
Wow, this whole narrative about me not knowing my coworkers isn't really helping right now, isn't it?
Yeah,
No, it's not.
Even though I love everybody, but apparently I'm just I'm a trash friend. But continue.
You're not.
Okay.
You're not.
Will Flannel close this out? Who attended the last ever winning game at Tiger Stadium? A. Ryan Ermanni, B. Maz, C. Broder, or D. Gabby?
I'll lock in.
The last ever winning game at Tiger Stadium.
Do we have a graphic for this one or no?
Ryan Ermanni, Maz, Broder, or me?
Lock it in.
Jeff needs to read.
I got it.
Jeff doesn't know the names. He needs to read the names first.
Stop it. I just want to see the selections.
Because he doesn't listen to me.
Jeff.
All right, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
B.
The answer is D. Myself.
I should have known.
She was the only one that didn't have a question left.
I was the one that
This is
didn't have a
common
question
sense.
left. Well, we didn't have a question for Maz either, so it was kind of a trick. But yeah.
Well done. Well done.
I was, I think, maybe 2.
I stink.
Last winning game at Tiger Stadium.
All right, okay.
So Jeff lost again? So his only win is still the
only
Barbie
one
trivia.
Of the wins is Barbie.
Yeah, I don't want to. That stays here. I don't want that to.
And
That's
with
like
get
Kirk
out of-
Cousins'
all of the
playoff
internet.
win.
Yeah, that.
I'm on Darren McCarty's shoulder.
It's like Daniel Jones beating the Vikings. Yeah, it's not like you did it, but
I mean,
are you gonna go brag about it?
So are you
Probably
admitting
not.
your Daniel Jones level, Kirk Cousins level?
No.
Okay.
No.
Lower?
No, I will not do
Blake
that.
Bortles
You know
level?
what though?
Blake
Hey Sam.
Bortles. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know what? You deserve it.
Oh, I
You really do.
I appreciate
Man,
that.
There you have
He
it.
never misses.
And you deserved your Barbie victory.
Yeah, well, okay. We're going to break. Screw you, Sam. All right, we'll go to break. We'll get back. We'll continue trivia. But before we do that, we got to tell us about our friends over at Planet Fitness.
Oh yes, and when I win, I also
geez.
gotta. This
No,
is when I gotta flex them the most.
No, don't do it.
This is when I gotta flex them the most.
Don't
And you
do
know
it
why
to
I
him.
flex them the most? Because I go to Planet Fitness, and that is where I went from having toothpick arms to the arms that you see today. And Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. We are here to help you build a lasting, active lifestyle. At Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of this for only $10 a month. Yes, we are still only $10 a month, and your fitness is essential, and fitness is a key part of physical and mental wellness, which is why we have invited teens between the ages of 14 to 19 to work out free all summer long with our high school summer pass program. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
Show him the
No matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world.
Show 'em.
It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness
Flex on 'em.
is essential.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Okay, let's talk through all these golf events that you have coming up.
Gabby, I'm glad you asked. Got my calendar right here. July 17th at Red Run, and then July 31st, I have the American Golf Outing for the Cancer Society.
I also have the American Cancer Society Golf Outing on the 31st. And also, I got yours on the 18th, but he'll
yeah, I'm going to be there.
Boys, these are a lot of events and golf outings.
Well, you want me to miss my own golf tournament?
Gabby, they're all great cars.
I mean, this is...
Hold on. I got this. Guys, I got this. Don't worry about it. Hold on a second.
He always...
Hey guys, thanks for coming so fast. How are ya? Remember the guys from Randy Wise, right, sir? The Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
Watch for the eye.
Stay tuned.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much. Brought to you in part by Premier Security Solutions, Fairway Packing Company, and Swiss Insurance. Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Head on down to Randy Wise right now and make the wise choice of your vehicle from your Randy Wise team. And before you go do that, check out the first ever episode of the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour featuring the one, the only Jim Harbaugh. And actually, we are headed down on Monday for a full day of remote shows from Oakland Hills for the American Cancer Society golf outing, where Darren and Braylon will be golfing alongside some average Joes, Tim and Tim from episode 1. And we're going to see how they stack up against each other. I'll be out there chatting with them about what they're doing, about American Cancer Society, and giving some good love to that event and all the great work that they are doing. So we'll be there on Monday. Be sure to tune into all of the shows, and you'll have an episode shortly after that for the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. I think it's going to be a good one.
We'll be down there. The American Cancer Society. Then we got Feldman Tuesday. We'll be on the road the next couple shows. Next Tuesday.
Tuesday the 8th.
Tuesday the 8th, which, you know, it's going to be fun. A lot of remote shows planned. We're at Dispo today. Again, guys, if you're in the area, come check it out. Romeo, Dispo at Romeo. It's going to be a blast. All shows will be down here. We'll be hanging out here all day. So we'll talk to whoever's here. So I can't wait for that. But it is that time. You don't have the trivia, but you know what? I can read them.
Yeah.
I can read them if you want. We'll just do that.
I can't believe I was the one that suggested this. I don't know why I suggested this, because I never have wanted to feel what it's like being on the opposite side. But here we are.
So I want to read these trivia. This is me and Sam. These are questions from me and Sam, and we're going to have Gabby answer them, okay?
Okay.
So the first one is, who went to 3 different high schools? Me or Sam Flannel?
Sam Flannel.
Okay, you got that right.
You are correct.
All right, that's 1 point.
You are correct.
Wait, how many did you get right in trivia?
I got, was it 3?
3?
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to see if I can
Next
pass
question.
the AI bot.
Who has 4 siblings? Me or Sam Flannel?
You.
Okay, this sucks.
Wow, yeah.
Maybe I don't want to do this.
2 for 2, yeah.
No, maybe I didn't have anything to be worried about.
Who? Oh, this is a good one. Okay. Who lived in Georgia for 2 years? Me or Sam Flannel?
Sam Flannel.
No. That was me.
Jeff Iafrate.
Finally. Got one wrong. Okay.
Okay.
The next one.
Shake it off.
Who wanted to be a police officer when they were a child? Me or Sam Flannel?
Jeff.
Damn it.
Damn.
Okay, she got me.
Yeah.
Tied. I'm
yeah,
tied with
actually,
Flannel.
I know this is when I was a little kid. I was really into, for some reason, I wanted to be a police officer. Soon I learned that they have balls I don't have. So I did not pursue that career. But I am in broadcasting.
What does that even mean? Before
which
you
is
just avoid that, what does that mean?
pretty much the complete opposite. Yeah, and to people saying, Jeff, you were a Georgia Bulldogs fan, I moved there when I was in 6th grade. I lived there for 2 years.
2 years.
I played football there. It really showed me that there are levels to this. Georgia football, like in 6th grade, Sam Flannel, the dudes there were like 6'2". Like I don't know. I didn't see their birth certificate. I don't know how old these dudes were, but the guys I played football with were like 6'2". And I meanwhile, at that time, I was probably 5'8". I was getting destroyed. And after 3 games, I retired. So there you have it. Georgia, it was
Also, playing in that heat down there
it was different.
is completely different than playing up here. And even like being out at Lions training camp practice, I'm like, no wonder all these guys go to like Florida and Texas and Arizona to train, because like we have heat here, but it's nothing like what they're getting out there. So they come back here and it's like 90 here today. It's going to be a walk in the park compared to 116 in Arizona.
Yeah, it's very different. I learned that very early on. Now, next question. And this one will be interesting. Whose favorite football player is Kelvin Johnson? Sam Flannel or me?
I feel like this should be an easy one. Jeff.
You are correct.
Sam, isn't yours like Walter Payton?
No, mine's Patrick Mahomes.
He's your favorite player ever?
Yes.
Oh my God, dude.
All right.
God.
I do want to just make a note that I have passed Flannel.
You
so
did.
like I am the overall winner of trivia today.
Maybe these are too easy.
Maybe.
Next question. Who has never been to Canada?
To Canada?
Me or Sam Flannel?
Flannel.
Damn, you are correct.
All right, this is stupid. All right, next question. And we'll do this one to close it out.
Okay.
Who played drums until the age of 16? Me or Sam Flannel?
This is an easy one.
Jeff.
No.
Yeah.
It was Sam Flannel.
Flannel's definitely got that drummer vibe.
Hey, Sam, and I already see some of the people chiming in. They say Sam, so Jeff in there as
Darn,
well.
I should have been looking at the chat.
That is Sam. You play drums to the
I
age
can
of
still
16.
play a little bit today. I just it's just something that it's just something that I kind of
Did you go down there and just rage on the drum set?
Oh yeah.
Hey,
100%.
I should have guessed that because of your taste in music.
Jake chimes into the chat. He says, to be fair, Gabby has a 50-50 shot at her answers, where Jeff and Flannel had a 25% shot.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Well, also, what I don't think is fair is that it was questions about both of you, and both of your body language immediately, almost every time, gave away who it was.
Oh, really? Damn.
Jeff wouldn't make eye contact with me. That's why I didn't get this last one, because you weren't making eye contact when
It's
the
all
question
Jeff's
was about
fault.
you, and that's why I thought it was
Jeff's
it.
fault.
All right, in case you guys didn't know, another fun fact, I can't lie, so there's another one. We'll go to break. When we get back, Gabby just kind of walked all over you, so that's fine.
That's all right.
I beat the AI bot.
That's hard to do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
When we get back, we'll get to what's trending with Lucas, and then we'll get to mailbag, so get your questions ready. But before we go to break, Sam Flannel, I will tell you about our friends over at Outdoor Equipment.
Get it together,
Allow me
Jeff.
to do that. Because, guys, your childhood may be over, but certainly playtime is not. Outdoor Equipment Company is your source for outdoor power equipment sales, service, and parts, carrying top brands such as Bad Boy, LS Tractor, Still, and much more, servicing the Great Lakes region in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. For more information, visit them, OutdoorEquipCo.com. Outdoor Equipment Company, your power equipment playground.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. Love Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Welcome, everybody, back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you for sticking with us towards the end of the show now. Don't forget, if you're on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. And more than that, though, leave a 5-star review if you're going to re-listen to the show on any podcast platform you listen to, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on there, Morning Woodward Show. Leave a 5-star review. It's that time, though. Check your watches. I don't have one, but it's what's trending with Lucas.
Oh, Flannel, I told you you're going to like 940, and it's rumored. This is now a rumor that Davante Adams, he wants out of Vegas, and you know where he wants to go, Flannel. He wants to go to the Jets. It said there will be rumors swirling that Vegas receiver Davante Adams could be asking for a trade soon to join the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers, his longtime Packers teammate. Something to remember, though, Davante Adams' dream was to play with his childhood team with the Raiders. So now he's ready to move off his childhood team, it looks like, and he wants to go play with Aaron. Do you guys think this move will happen? And if it does, what do you think this means for the playoff implications or the season as a whole?
I'll let Sam take this last because he can speak more on this. And I guess in a way, I thought Davante should have never left. But at the same time, he got his money, and he still has an opportunity to go reunite with Aaron. Now the question is, do the Jets feel like it's Garrett Wilson season? You know, do they feel like he's enough? Because you can never have too much talent. But getting a guy like Davante Adams with that contract, Sam Flannel, it's going to be expensive. You're going to have to trade up assets. And assets, I don't know if the Jets are willing to fork up. But, hey, if they're willing to do it, I mean, F it. Everybody come join New York.
Hey, but guess who just restructured his contract to give himself less money? None other than the most selfless man in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers. Let's go. Hey, I'll tell you what, if Davante Adams comes to the New York Jets somehow, some way, they will find a way to lose in the AFC Championship to Arrowhead by 3-7.
So they still lose, and they get Davante?
Oh, yes, they
say it, Sam.
No, they still lose.
You are scared.
I'm not scared.
Say they'll beat the Chiefs.
No,
You're
they're
scared
not
like Jeff is with the Lions.
Oh,
they're not beating the Chiefs, but I'll tell you what, they'll go 13-4 and win the AFC East 100% because, and Lucas, this is not an opinion, this is fact. The last couple of years when Aaron Rodgers was winning MVPs and Davante Adams was his #1 wide receiver, they were the single greatest connection in all of the NFL, quarterback to wide receiver. And they could get to that this year. I think maybe the only one who you could say is better would be maybe Mahomes and Kelsey.
I don't really like...
Yeah,
I mean,
probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't even consider like comparing them just because Kelsey's a tight end. You know what I mean? Like it's a completely different situation.
Sure, maybe Hurts and AJ Brown, but I would say Aaron Rodgers to Davante Adams. That would be the #1 connection in the NFL, and Garrett Wilson would be your #2 on a rookie contract. Sauce Gardner on a rookie contract.
Yeah, like
Quinnen Williams already locked up.
This question, Dante says, who the hell does the Jets give up to get Adams? I mean,
they would have to give up. They're not going to give up Sauce or Garrett.
No.
So then they're probably going to give up maybe Breece Hall because with
No.
Josh Jacobs.
They're not giving up.
just thinking. I'm throwing out names that they.
It's going to be hard to get that deal done. It will be.
Devontae's a lot of money.
Just give him Zach Wilson. Call it even.
Maybe Jermaine Johnson.
He sucks, right?
Might be better than Garoppolo.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, what else you got for us, Lucas?
Well, we saw also Inside the Den, and I just want to reminisce on the Sam
Let's do it.
interview. So JB pulled up for us.
Do you like run blocking?
I enjoy run blocking, yeah. Physically dominating somebody.
You feel like you're a complete tight end? You can do a little bit.
I do, yeah. I think I'm extremely versatile.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm tough enough to stick my nose in shit, but also finesseful enough to get open and create separation. And
yep.
Finesseful and shit. I love it.
That's full of shit.
He just looks like a Chad. I don't know why I love him.
Look at that clock.
I don't know. I just keep seeing it tick.
You're sweating.
I bet I am.
Where's it
trying to do well.
We're putting everybody through the ringer.
Why should coach draft you?
I'm a locker room guy.
Easy
I think I mesh well with really any locker room. Not to mention that I'm a damn good football player too.
What?
You ain't gonna have no problems with me.
I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
I mean, Lucas, you have a lot in common with Sam Laporta. I mean,
I would say
you
so,
both
just-
like physically dominating men, and you both like sticking your nose in shit. So it's like,
I thought me and you were talking.
I'm
after
just kidding.
this.
I love you.
No. We're not, I'm not just kidding with that one. But Laporta, one of the things I wanted to spotlight beside this was just I thought it was really cool that they showed the combine interviews. I didn't realize till after that those were like before they were drafted. And, I mean, this man was just risen Dan up. He had all the right answers. He was like, yeah, you'd like to think I have 10 hands, but, they're going to get better. And once I start high-pointing the ball, it's over with. So this man...
And you know what's funny, though, Lucas? You look at him saying that, I would like to get better high-pointing the ball, and then you fast forward to, like, his 45-inch vert that was just displayed at training camp. The dude is, like, getting better by the day. Maybe Lucas, you know what? He's a Hall of Famer already.
I mean,
I'm kidding.
You know what, Lucas?
Get his jacket made, Lucas. Get his jacket made.
I am 100% for the betterment of the Detroit Lions than for, petty little games and whether Lucas is right or not. And if you're right, it would be good. But here's a question. Is there any chance that Sam Laporta's career actually is better than George Kittle's?
Are we going off statistics?
What else would you...
Because honestly, like, Kittle, he's a way better run blocker than Laporta ever will be. And Kittle also has many injury-riddled seasons, but when he plays in the playoffs, he makes huge plays. I have a ton of respect for Kittle. But, I mean, it all really comes down to health. I think Laporta has a ceiling where he can absolutely
Don't talk
do so.
around it. Is he better? Is he going to be better than George Kittle? Say it. Put your balls on the table.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Hey. I didn't say it. Lucas.
Well, I'm going all – that's if I'm invested in anybody, stock.
Yeah.
Would just be
and
out
I
of this
agree
rookie
with
club.
that. Maybe your stock, you're buying. I think it's like Dogecoin. You spent it all on Doge. Like for me, I'm a little hesitant.
He's my Bitcoin.
Okay,
Sam
he's your Bitcoin.
Sam Laporta is my Bitcoin.
See, I got like 25% of my bank account on it. Like Lucas is like pushing all the chips in on Sam Laporta, which is fine. I think he'll be great.
So.
I said he'll be the best tight end out of this class. Now,
no
is it Hall of
question,
Fame?
Dude. When people, oh my
I don't
God,
know.
and I know you were all for the Michael Mayer train.
I like Michael Mayer.
Oh.
Dude, why? Like, I get if this was 2000, but what does he really do to make you, oh my God?
I mean, he was better in college, obviously, with a better situation. He's bigger. I would say he's not as fast. He's not as good after the catch. But as far as getting that 3rd and 7, 10-yard reception, he's a safety blanket.
Yeah,
and
but
I think
so is Laporta.
Yeah, Laporta about to be that too.
But Michael Mayer, I'll tell you what, he will be the best rookie tight end. No question about it.
No.
55 receptions, 700 yards, Michael Mayer. It's happening.
We'll revisit this.
The Jimmy G show. My God,
It's happening.
Not a chance.
Hey.
It's either going to be Laporta or Kincaid.
If Devontae Adams gets traded,
Then they're
Michael
just going to
Mayer.
have
Michael
to
Mayer,
worry about
1,000-yard
it.
season. Kidding.
Michael Mayer, man, he's breaking the tight end rookie record. Dude.
Eventually, though. You know what his
For
nickname was
receiving yards.
at Notre Dame? Baby Gronk.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
That was true.
There's
All
also
right.
another baby Gronk out there that's going to do absolutely nothing in the NFL.
Nothing.
Well, that baby,
Okay.
that's a different baby Gronk. Well, we're not going to get to him.
But that was honestly it. I mean, we all watched Inside the Den, and that was pretty
great.
much the only thing going on. But
No, I appreciate you, Lucas. I knew you were going to bring up that Sam Laporta clip. I mean, you were hyped by it last night. You were hyped.
Me, Booner, and Easy, and Noah were all sitting there watching it live in the studio, and we were just geeking.
Fired up. As you should
I
be.
got Booner on the hype train.
What hype train?
He says he's not going to Hall of Fame, but he's going Laporta All-Pro.
Oh, like rookie year?
I don't know about rookie year.
'Cause
I'm
I
not
think-
going to put words in his mouth. I don't think he meant that, but he thinks he's going to be like a continuous All-Pro.
Which I agree. I think, again, Sam Laporta.
So you have continuous All-Pros. That's not Hall of Fame.
I mean,
Jeff, continuous All-Pro for a tight end is Hall of Fame.
like
thank you, Flannel.
you said all pro. You didn't say how many all pros we talking? Like you talking 6, 7 consecutive
Buddha just said
all pros.
I mean, I think he's going to have 4 or 5.
Holy well, I ain't okay. Maybe I will refute that what I just said. I think
What do
he'll make.
you mean?
I think he can make an All-Pro or
And
two.
once Kelsey is gone, once Kittle is gone, it's going to be Laporta.
Yeah, okay.
That's what it's going to be.
Well, it sucks.
He's going to be better than Mark Andrews.
All right, we'll go to break. When we get back, we'll get to mailbag. I want to say quickly, too, thank you, Lucas, by the way. You crushed it. Today, the heavyweights, 5 to 7. You're going to want to stick around and tune into their show. They're giving away 2 Lions tickets to people who are tuning in. I'm telling you, you're going to want to tune into the show. They're giving away, again, it's 5 to 7 p.m. Be there. Be ready for the giveaway. It could be you. And I'm telling you, if there's a year to go see the Lions, it's this year. So, again, they're going to give it away on the heavyweights. I love those guys, man. They do great work. So make sure everybody listening, tune in and support the heavies. We'll go to break. When we get back, we'll get to mailbag. Get your questions ready in the chat. But before we do that, I got to tell you about where we are right now, which is the wonderful Dispo dispensary here in Romeo. Again, we'll be here all day. Don't forget to show up, show some love, and I'm sure you get down here. They're having deals. They have a DJ. They'll have food trucks. It's going to be a great time. Woodward Sports, Dispo, the collaboration. You're going to want to be there for that. But Dispo, you experience the true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with Dispo Dispensary. You can indulge in the finest selection of cannabis curated with care. They got 12 locations, and they're adding more. They just got a new one in Whitmore Lake. Dispo is never far away. Visit DispoShops.com today and unlock a world of possibilities, endless possibilities in the realm of cannabis. That is DISPOShops.com, your local cannabis plug.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
We're back. It's the morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys for sticking with us. We're almost to the end of the show. Again, we're terrible people. We're giving mailbag 5 minutes. We do this all the time.
All right.
We gotta do a show where we have like 15 minutes of mailbag to make up for all the mailbag that we've cut short. So we apologize for that. We'll get to as many questions as we can. Coach Walk 37 says Jeff will never lose his laptop at Woodward because it looks like a 4th grader decorated it. You know what?
I've always thought the same thing. See, me and Coach Walk.
No, hey, I like it. It's stickers that mean a lot to me.
The stickers are cool, though.
You know, we got Jordan, we got Kobe, we got Devin Booker, D-Mac.
That, like, when did you start?
Hey, I wouldn't say 4th. I would say about 6th grade. How about that? Just a little older. But
maybe like junior high.
Yeah,
Get some hair on your nuts for the first time. Put some stickers on your nuts.
JB, you got to put that up every time Lucas talks, man. That's hilarious. What the hell is that photo about?
Oh, JB, you did me dirty, man. You did me dirty.
Let's see. Mailbag Jackass Sam, are you going to be riding 3 teams this year? Jets, Lions, and Chiefs, or what? Man, you whore. What are you doing?
Hey, you know, Lions are my favorite team. I'm obviously going to root for them in every game, but we all have our teams that we watch and our players that we watch. I mean, we're watching the Chiefs and the Jets very, very, very closely. I got to do some scouting for when they play in the AFC Championship game and give my ultimate.
Who do you want to win that game?
Who would I want to win that game?
Yeah.
Oh, the Chiefs.
Dude.
The Chiefs. I'm not a bandwagon. I love Patrick Mahomes.
You want to see him win every year?
Not above the Lions, but every other Super Bowl, yes. You got people who root for Tom Brady every single time he plays.
Those people are just, like they're just annoying to talk ball with.
Hey,
I'm not saying you are, but it's just like you don't want any like variety. Like you wouldn't want to see like a new winner like every year. You don't think that'd be cool? Like I get like Mahomes and that like back-to-back's cool, but you don't want to switch it up.
I want Mahomes to be the undisputed GOAT someday.
I want to read this one, too, because Algonac, Michigan. Shout out to Algonac, Michigan, by the way. That's out towards kind of my area. He says, Sam, what makes you think that KC will beat Detroit opening night? Because, bro, Goff is 1-0 against Mahomes in primetime. Detroit starting 3-0.
And no Kadarius Toney, most likely. And that's huge.
Okay, but it's the defending Super Bowl champions. Remember, in 2018, Jared Goff was coming in with 2018 roster that peaked Todd Gurley, Aaron Donald, Defensive Player of the Year. They were going up against a Chiefs team. I think it was a neutral site, or it might have even been in Mexico. It was against a Chiefs team that had never won a Super Bowl before, and now the Chiefs have two. Patrick Mahomes is better than he's ever been. Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, Creed Humphrey wasn't on the team back then, Chris Jones. They are the Monstars, guys. Every team loses to Arrowhead. It's a rite of passage. There's nothing wrong with it.
Hey, all that sounds great. Lions winning 49-17.
49-17. There we go.
I'm kidding.
49-17.
I'm kidding. Don't clip that.
Flannel, what are your thoughts on Travis Kelce's failed attempt to give his number to Taylor Swift?
I mean, I think
L.
L for her.
No, L for him,
L
too.
for him.
Missing
no,
out
it's
on
just
Travis
an L in
Kelce.
general. You shouldn't be asking Taylor Swift, dude.
You know, Lucas?
You know how many
No,
fish
he
there are?
shouldn't be because it's JB's girlfriend.
Yeah, JB, you want to do something about it? JB, man, I love
for
him.
the record, Lucas, I do agree with you because when it comes to if I were power ranking like female country stars in terms of attractiveness, Taylor Swift is not even
Carrie Underwood.
Oh, Carrie Underwood.
Have you seen her legs?
I'm a huge Carrie Underwood guy.
I want to know her, Jim.
I'm a big Carrie Underwood guy.
Let's do one more question from our own Michael Gentry, who I'm kind of waiting on you, Mike. So hurry up. All right,
Come on, Mike.
Mike says, mailbag Jeff Lucas and Flannel. You get the first pick in the Woodward Sports Fantasy Football League. Who are you taking? First pick.
Wait, like in
Mahomes.
Wait. Are we talking about
first pick in the fantasy in fantasy for our Woodward Sports League? We're not talking people. We're talking about real fantasy football. Who's taking number
Patrick
one?
Mahomes, first round, just like last year.
Number one overall.
His MVP season last year. I mean, I think I was proven correct. I don't want anybody else to get a hold of the GOAT. Come on now.
Flannel, didn't I beat you in the playoffs?
You did beat me in the playoffs, but that's fine. It's not because of Patrick Mahomes. I get it.
He wants his guy.
I want my guy.
He wants his
Casey
Jahmyr Gibbs. He's Brad
Musgraves.
Holmes.
Thank you.
No.
If Brad Holmes can take
All
Jahmyr
right.
Gibbs at 12, I can take Patrick Mahomes at 1.
This is a toss-up for me. I'm debating between Tyreek Hill or Justin Jefferson because rarely
I'm
fantasy
going Justin Jefferson.
But here's the thing: there's been rarely times where in fantasy football the wide receiver ones repeat seasons. And Tyreek Hill was about to get 2,000 yards last year, then Tua broke his neck and lost some brain cells. Now he's back. He's going to be healthier. He's got a sleeve, if you guys didn't see. I think Tyreek's going to be close to 2,000 yards. So I might go Tyreek Hill, but I think the should be obvious answer is Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. And again, I took Christian McCaffrey, number 2 last year, and he paid off for me. He was healthy, thank goodness, and it worked out. But you know what else worked out? This morning Woodward show today.
Yeah, it did.
You know what I mean? We had a great show.
Oh, nice.
Over at Dispo, and they again, I can't echo this enough. They really do take care of us. They take care of Woodward Sports. They're great people. And again, I'm going to keep saying this. That's what separates them from other dispensaries. Like, you don't really know the experience till you come out here and experience it. So please, come say hi. We're over at Dispo and Romeo. Jeff Iafrate, Sam Flannel, Lucas Klotz, JB, and Gabrielle D. Phillips. We'll all be here all day. Come show some love. But until then, we appreciate you guys. Before you leave, hit the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. And we will see you Monday. Everybody have a great weekend. And don't forget,
Stay safe.
the Lions, and stay safe.